Hello and welcome to another video from the Fresh I Ching channel. Straight to the point. What I did yesterday was I consulted the I Ching 3 or 4 times in quick succession using the technique that we're developing and showing here at the Fresh I Ching channel. First of all, the question I posed like a personal, quite detailed question. I always write to the sage. That's what I personally decide to do, address the I Ching or the sage or God or the creator personally, giving quite a lot of details and an open question. Then I meditated upon that question with 5 deep breaths. Then I used a random number generator, and I think the answers that I obtained were pretty amazing, standard, but incredible. Amazing. Sometimes you just get an answer and you think, where is that coming from? How is that possible without some kind of wisdom, without some kind of, I don't want to say personality, because the Tao doesn't have a personality. It doesn't have a creator. It creates. It was not created. Is it God? Is it Tao? Is it the universe? Is it nature? Whatever. Using the I Ching allows a direct dialogue with this eternal, all powerful, all wise, all knowing entity. Not meaning to get too religious because I'm not a religious person. Okay, without further ado, the first question was question. I feel a lot of guilt, sage, for the things I have done and am doing, and also for the things I have not done. From my study of the Tao, I know you might advise me to get out of the river before I drown. What else can you tell me? Okay, a bit of background, like lots of things yesterday. I had a day where I was feeling guilty. I was feeling like I was doing the wrong thing and wasn't focusing my attention on the right things. Okay, and I know from my constant study of the Tao and the I Ching that a really good piece of advice is if you dip your toe in the water, get out before you drown because it's easy. If your little finger's in the water, it's easy to extract. But once you start wading in that water of sin, you're fucked. Can I swear on this podcast? You're fucked. I just did. All right. And the answer that came out, Hexagram 58, the Joyous lake. So remember, I asked about I'm feeling guilty, doing the wrong thing, help me. And it said the answer that came is Hexagram 58, the Joyous lake. Hexagram introduction. Every single day is a gift and must be appreciated. The lake rejoices and refreshes all living things. Much care must be taken with words, for words can bring joy to others or they can cut like a sharp blade. Try and encourage others to be joyful and modest, and good things will happen. This hexagram also talks about addictions and bad habits, and how one must always be on guard and not to be seduced by temporary, fleeting physical pleasures. And what's amazing, that's exactly what I was talking about in my mind. Problems that I've suffered from for years and years with certain addictions and bad habits, which we're not going to go into right now. But look at the answer. Every day is a gift and must be appreciated. Is the I Ching's like shaking me and coming, wake up, little fool. Every single day is a gift and must be appreciated. Don't start worrying and getting stressed and think I did this bad. I need to spend more time with my kids. I wish I could do this, because every day is a single gift and must be appreciated. Let's look at the bullet points. Talking about addictions, actually. Must always be on guard not to be seduced by temporary fleeting physical pleasures. We're talking death scrolling, we're talking pornography, we're talking drinking, we're talking eating shit. Those are temporary fleeting physical pleasures. Lots of addictions that people have: drugs, sex. um, I've had some of those, don't worry. All right, but this is saying don't be seduced by temporary fleeting measures. Now let's go to the bullet points. One must rejoice, or life is not worth living. We've got to enjoy our time here on earth. Every day is a gift. Our words should be carefully watched, and used to give joy to others. That's very important. Words can do much damage, so care is necessary. Again, be careful with your words. Perseverance is necessary. We've got to stick to our plan. Like this Fresh I Ching project for me is something I've got to stick to. Encourage others to be optimistic and joyful. That is so important. Often the I Ching, it tells you to work on yourself, but also think about how you influence others. Joy should be outwardly gentle and inwardly firm. Be gentle with other people. It is a good idea to join with others for discussion and practice. Modesty, as always, is key. Doubt is natural, but joy combats it. Think about that. If I'm thinking, oh, why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? Just try and have some fun. Joy combats doubt. Do not be overwhelmed by physical pleasures, what I said before. Stay calm instead. Be careful not to fall back into old bad habits. They are not dead and gone forever, only sleeping and waiting. Oof, that's really profound for me. We think we've got on top of our addictions or our bad habits, but no, they're not dead and gone. They're only sleeping and waiting. So, my conclusion, remember, I was thinking, my question was, I feel a lot of guilt for the things I'm doing and things I'm not doing. And what the advice is, enjoy every day. Every day is a gift. Enjoy every day. Be careful with your words. Be modest. Be careful not to fall back into old habits. And encourage others to be optimistic and joyful. Wow. Okay, that was the first question. And then I go straight away and I do like a dialogue of 3 questions, 3 responses. So the second question I asked straight after that was, question. Because I'm thinking, oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Sage. But does that mean I should forget about this Fresh I Ching project and, I don't know, go and do more fun stuff like play guitar, run around, be happy? So I asked, question, what about sharing my experience and use of the I Ching? Is this a good idea? I feel a sense of conflict coming from you. Why is that? And by you, I mean the Sage that I Ching. Why? Because yesterday I tried to record two I tried to record this kind of video doing a live consultation with the I Ching, and maybe you wouldn't appreciate this, but it happened to be from 64. The number that came up twice was literally from the 64 hexagrams. I think there's 2 that I haven't completed because I forgot about them. And those 2 came up yesterday when I was in the process of recording the video, and I was like, shit, that is a motherfucking sign from motherfucking someone, something. That's like maybe I'm not on the right path. Maybe the I Ching is not happy with what I'm doing. Okay? And the answer I got was hexagram 59, dispersion, dissolution. Hexagram introduction. The I Ching is explaining that one little disclaimer about hexagram 59, because the PDF is in a really raw state. I still haven't finished it, and I realized hexagram 59 was like a personal interpretation when I ask a question about guitar playing or something, rather than general bullet points. So this description will be worked on in the future, but it doesn't matter. The I Ching is explaining that it is wrong to focus attention on doing one thing at the cost of another. Instead, relax and enjoy the creativity. Try and share with others. One must move gradually like a melting glacier. One should not ignore the religious and spiritual side. And look at that question that I asked about my project with I Ching. I feel some kind of conflict problem, and the answer is, don't focus on doing just one thing at the cost of another. Relax and enjoy creativity. For me, that's simple. It means, okay, don't focus on just put all my intention into this Fresh I Ching project. Also, don't forget about spiritual evolution. Don't forget about playing guitar. Don't forget about writing. Don't forget about other things in my life as well. Bullet points. Stay calm and yielding. Very important. Accept whatever comes. So good events, bad events about this I Ching project, accept them. The wise man scatters his or her talents, is not too focused on one aspect. That's really important. Like I said, look at that advice. I'm asking about what's the problem. I'm feeling some hostility with the I Ching project. And the I Ching is there literally telling me Scatter your talents. Don't be too focused on one aspect. Dispersion is communication too, so try and communicate about creativity, perhaps form or join a group. Like a glacier melts, one must move gradually. No big decision is necessary. Relax. Chill, motherfucker. Taking action is good and vital, but do not hang on to the result and become too focused. Look at that. Take action, record videos, but don't hang on to the result. Work on the inner self through meditation. Religion and sacrifice is key too. I'm always thinking about that sacrifice. What does actually that mean? Does that mean I intentionally need to choose some things to sacrifice? Maybe bad habits, maybe money. Do I need to literally, I think of a biblical sacrifice like Moses killed his best lamb and took it and sacrificed it to Yahweh. Is that what I need to do? Seek out a teacher. Bonds should be dispersed too, and that separation leads to accumulation. And I wrote this at the time in brackets. Can we kind of take advantage of natural laws? This is my question. Can we give away and know we will receive later? So that's so deep, but I'm saying that, like, is that a way of using the Tao, using the universal laws? That if you give away, whatever you give away, you shall receive. So therefore, if I intentionally give things away, I will receive more. Is that being selfish, or is that possible? Okay. A scattering also removes accumulated stress. So that was my question, is about, I feel that there's some sense of hostility coming from the I Ching regarding my project. I can feel it sometimes. Literally, I can feel some kind of thing that you're not doing the right thing here, or the question is not right, or your approach is not good. And this question is telling me, um, scatter your talents, move gradually, don't hang on to the results, work on the inner self through meditation. Scattering also removes accumulated stress. Okay, and finally, the last question now that I asked yesterday was, and I was feeling a bit, I have to admit, yesterday I had one of those afternoons where I was feeling a bit bad. Sometimes we do something and it shakes up your reality. And that's a good thing, because bad things happen and then you're like, shit, okay, you appreciate what you have a lot more, because you go through these like bad situations, these fucking weird dramas. And I had this feeling of helplessness. Yesterday I remember thinking, Jesus, what the fuck? However old I am, is this life? Is this all there is? Like work, life? I don't know. I had a bit of a bad afternoon yesterday, and in the evening I had a fantastic day at work, and I felt much better. The question: there is a feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. Very poetic. Sage, I do not want this to lead me into problems. What can I do to turn it around? Answer: Hexagram 29, the abysmal water. Now, a warning. This is one of the most negative. Maybe because it's called the abysmal. Abysmal is not a nice word, is it? Okay, the abysmal water. Hexagram introduction. This hexagram represents a pit of cascading turbulent waters, danger, but the I Ching here gives clear instructions on the best way to deal with danger and dangerous situations. One must keep going, just like water. Find the lowest level, just like water. Danger is good too, so try and see the good sides to this perilous situation. And I have to say, that's exactly what fucking happened yesterday. I had this afternoon drama of, oh God, what am I doing with my life? Should I throw myself off a bridge? Not seriously, but these feelings. And then I had a fantastic afternoon, and something shook me. I was like, okay, you only appreciate what you have when you feel like you're in danger of losing it. That's what I want to say. You can only appreciate what you have when you see how fleeting it is. When you think you might lose something, you appreciate it a lot more. And the bullet points. So this is the feeling of helplessness, and it's talking about a dangerous situation. Keep going. See the good sides to danger. The abysmal represents a downward movement. This is a repeated hexagram. There's 8 hexagrams, which is the 2 trigrams repeated. And I always feel like a repeated hexagram, a doubled hexagram gives a lot more attention. I will do a video on that actually, on the 8 repeated hexagrams. This is one of them. Water flows on and never stops. It flows through dangerous situations and is not touched by them. So how can you move through this danger and not be touched by them? Be like water. Danger can be used by the wise person to protect themselves. Water shows us how to behave in dangerous situations. Hold on to the innate nature for doing good, and this avoids drowning in passion's torrential waters. Now that's quite poetic. I like that. Did I write that? I'm going to avoids. Let's read that again. Hold on to the innate nature for doing good, and and this avoids drowning in passion's torrential waters. Wow. Flow on and on like water. That's maybe even more key. Practice and repetition are also key. Be happy with attaining only small things. Isn't that amazing? So I'm thinking, my life is fucking useless. Is this? I just have to continue like this until I die. My middle age rot. And then I realized, no, 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 no. You have to be like water. You have to appreciate. It's only through the bad situations that we appreciate what we have. And what happened naturally, I had a fantastic afternoon and felt much, much better. And sorry, there's one last question. This was at the end. After I did this consultation of 3, I was like, wow, that advice is just amazing. So, final question. Thanks so much for this amazing advice. It is helpful. I need to keep going, to meditate, to use religion, to do good things. What else do I need to know right now? I think tomorrow I will share this little dialogue, which I'm doing right now. How do you feel about that too? So this was a final conclusionary, is that a word? I don't know. Conclusionary question to the sage. Hexagram 43, breakthrough. Jesus. I mean, can you see this fucking advice is so fucking amazingly, how it's not possible. Can we just say it's impossible that this is random possibility, but it's just a motherfucking book. It's just a motherfucking random motherfucking number motherfucking generator. How is it possible if it doesn't touch something inside us? You have to believe in the power of the I Ching. Hexagram 43, breakthrough, resoluteness. Hexagram introduction. This seems auspicious but might be a warning. Some key themes here are not to be proud and not to hold on to wealth. Do not be too proud. Like, okay, great, your life is doing better, good, but don't be too proud. Like, don't fall into bad habits. Don't hold on to wealth. Instead, understand that all is fate and try to give to those less fortunate. The I Ching can act as a torch to allow us to walk in the light of eternal wisdom. That about charity, about giving to people. Again, I'm saying about by giving we receive. So I think we need to actively look to help people less fortunate than ourselves. That's something I need to do more as well. Bullet points. The images of a river bursting its dams in times of flood. All vapors have risen to the sky and will soon burst the clouds and fall as rain. Words should be made stronger and enduring. One must stay calm and accept fate as unstoppable and always necessary and correct. That's the first one I've highlighted. Look at that. Look at that. One must stay calm and accept fate as unstoppable and always necessary and correct. Do you understand how deep and true that is? Like, it's all, whatever happens to us is always correct. Some people would say, oh no, you're fatalistic, but that's how I feel. It's like inshallah that my Muslim brothers and sisters say. It's God's will. It's fate. You can't change your fate. Stay calm and accept fate, and always necessary. So these things that happen to us, especially the bad things, they're necessary. The superior person knows the importance of charity and giving. How can one be actively charitable to those in times of need? Think about that, people. Do not pile up wealth, as this invites danger. Instead, be giving and try to cause joy for others. It's easier to pass a needle through the eye of a camel than it is for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. I read that somewhere, people. Does anyone know where I read that? Likewise, one should never be self-satisfied, but shall always retain a sense of awe. If we walk the middle way, see Buddhism, we have nothing to fear in times of strife. Allow oneself to be led by the I Ching in this case. There is an evil to be rooted out, but this must be undertaken with caution. So that was a conclusion. That was saying to I Ching, thanks for all the amazing advice. You told me I need to meditate, use religion, do good things. What else do I need to know? And here it's about like being charitable to other people, accept your fate, stay calm, don't pile up wealth, don't be greedy, give to other people, choose the middle way, accept your fate. Okay, so that was 4 questions that I asked yesterday in a direct dialogue to the sage, and you read my answers. I hope you will think, shit, is this guy making it up or what? But no, it happens time and time again, especially if you frame the question in the right way, if you meditate upon that question, if you think, if you believe, you get these incredibly personal answers. Think about that. A 5,000-year-old text. I'm using a random number generator. I'm asking a question to an unliving text. And I get these incredible answers that are coming back. Just incredibly personalized answers. Amazing. I hope you enjoyed that little video, and I'm sure if you watch it, you can see a lot more about my uses of the I Ching and what I believe about the I Ching. Please, it would be amazing if you could comment below on your experience of the I Ching, maybe share how you use it. And also, if anyone would like to receive a free PDF of these 64 hexagrams with bullet points and hexagram introductions, let me know. I'll see how I can do that. But anyone who wants to, I'm not gonna put a link and give it away free like that. But if anyone wants to send me a comment or a message, I'll happily give them for free. Okay? Thanks so much for watching this video. Have a great day wherever you are. Peace and love. Bye.